Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. This is just close the window, but this is Mihkel here, and due to some technical matters, I will only be speaking tonight and won't show my face. Just so I'm sorry about that, but. It's just the way it is tonight. But instead of that, I will show you some great videos about different technologies, and I hope it's going to be a great webinar for you guys. All right, a little bit about myself. My name is Mihkel. I'm from Estonia, and I have been a SkyWay investor for about 3.5 years by now. And of course, I have acquired some amount of shares, and I'm actively involved in everyday's businesses businesses that help to develop the SkyWay technology projects and globally. I'm from Estonia, as I said, and here in Estonia we also are actively finding and gathering partners and going to hopefully implement the technology here in our country as well. But of course, work goes on everywhere globally. And then this is one of the latest news that I would like to show you at the beginning. And then this is a great and huge news for SkyWay Technology and for all the investors and partners all around the world, because the technology, which you see on the picture at the moment, Unicar on the monorail, has been certified. So that's just great. And later on, I will show you one news as well, and then what happened afterwards when the certificate was announced that SkyWay received. And I will show you some pictures as well. This is the 400-meter track. They're the first one in such an innovation center, and this track, on this track, the Unicar was certified. And behind this track, you will see if you look there, you will see the supports for a 2.5 kilometer track. And there will be also a revolutionary technology for sea containers. But more about that in some time. All right, and this is the wooden eco house in Sasha, in the innovation center. And what is remarkable is that this building is the first ever built wooden house then, yes, in United Arab Emirates. So this also shows our great relationship Dr. Anatoli Eduardovich Yunitsky and his team, the whole SkyWay team and the Innovation Center has with the local governments. And here it is again. This is the Unicar. I have also driven myself on this model, but in Belarus, in the Eco Technopark, which is the first certification and demonstration center. And this innovation center here on the picture in United Arab Emirates is the second one. Yes, and then some time ago, the test when the certification process was still going on, then the last phase was the tests with passengers. And then here is, after that was announced that it is possible now for people also to go and to do a test drive with SkyWay, then many journalists when they received the opportunity, they took it and came there. All right, and here is also a sea container, but this is the smaller one, smaller sea container, and this technology already works. I know the French television and French people were very crazy, and actually, after this one, when this technology, or this model was published or first shown to public, then there was also announced that the commercial track, but for cargo, is going to be between Sharjah, city Sharjah, or yes, and then between Sharjah and Korfakan, about 100 kilometers. But all right, let's now see and continue with a main part of presentation. And this one, technology, what you see here on the screen, this one is Unibus. As I said, there will be 2.5 kilometer tracks, but not only one, but 2 or 3 of them. And on one track, there will be demonstrations with models, unicars probably, or unibuses, which are capable to take about 100 and a little bit more people on board at the same time. At the moment, there are about 20 and to 30 people. But when we go back more in history, then we can see that people have thought about going to the second level long ago already. And this concrete picture is made by a visionary and artist who about 100 years ago pictured the future. And also I would like to describe on this picture that, or with this picture, what this reminds me personally is we have a perfectly, today, I mean in 21st century, today, 2021st year, we have a perfectly well-developed first level infrastructure. By first level, I mean the ground floor. Then we have also in most of the bigger cities, we have metros or subways beneath the ground, but the problems about well, the traffic and the problems still or yet occur, and therefore, well, the world needs a new solution or something new, because we just cannot tear down the buildings inside the cities to construct new roads. Well, and as you might understand or know already, that we almost every person who has well, driving license and necessary age, then those have their own vehicles. So, and then what I know that the European Union and the world governments all around the world, they're planning to basically make a, well, the road infrastructure model or something, which is mobility concept, basis on mobility concept, and basically means, well, what are the steps to remember is that at first we will have to, well, switch our fossil fuel engine cars to electrical ones, and later on it's probably there will be some areas inside the city which will get larger and larger, where we cannot go even with car. We can use, well, the scooters or bikes or whatever the vehicles, but we basically cannot move so freely with our cars. And therefore, new solutions and ideas are most welcome, and the world needs them at the moment. But what we have done before as human beings or as a population, we have managed to construct second level roads already. But there are some, well, if you compare it with SkyWay, for example, then there are some huge differences which we must know. And of course, this one here is the monorail. And monorail, well, it's about $30 to $40 million per kilometer, the cost of it. Well, for example, in Dubai, it was about $70 million per kilometer, and already 10 years ago, when they constructed the 5-kilometer road there for monorail. And yes, therefore it's quite expensive. It's slow, up to, well, up to 70 kilometers per hour, I think, or 80 it was. And it's very massive, as you can see by its construction. Then, of course, metros, subways. Then in Germany, they have this technology used. In China, they have this. It's basically like a tram, upside down tram. And then here, this is this is like a Toppelmühr, one company that basically is implementing its technology all around the world. But what we must know here with this cable car technology is that the cable, or sorry, the car itself doesn't move, but the cable moves. So the car is attached very tightly to the cable, and then the cable moves. And here I would like to show you one. This is in Italy, an accident, and I will show you why it's quite dangerous. All right. Now you should see me. And here it goes. So basically there is some malfunction in the system and it started to collapse. And this is not only the first and the only, well, it's not the first one and the only accident like this, but there has been many of these more. So this is basically the Doppelmayr technology. Yes, all right, let's continue now. So just I wanted to show you, but let's go to the, new age, to the 21st century. And this is what I would like to introduce to you today in more detail in 7 points. And I will briefly introduce you all the main aspects of SkyWay technology and why it precedes all the other technologies that I know at least there are and exists in the world. And therefore I'm more than sure that we will see SkyWay riding around inside cities and between cities, and soon we will be able to drive as passengers as well when we go on a holiday or for example, because it just has so many more benefits. But all right, let's see. First point is that it's innovative, and absolutely true. It uses electricity, it has its batteries, and it has its own motor wheels, which take the models, for example, on this picture, the Unicar from point A to point B. So that means the cable does not move or the track structure, but the track structure stays stiff at the same place. And of course it can be, the designs can be different for supports and so on. It's just a matter of designing and necessary measurements or by what it's possible to implement these technologies. For example, in my country, in my city called Tartu, there it's university city, so I believe that here it's possible to use the statues instead of instead of supports or as supports. And patented part of that rail track structure is here. And so basically these technologies all exist in separate combinations, but in combination like you see on this picture right now, where the pre-stressed strings are put then inside the body frame or inside the rail, and it's filled with special filler. It's also possible to basically take pipes or tubes through the track structure, so we can, for example, internet cables or electricity and so on, we can take through the track structure as well. So it has multiple benefits. And this is one screenshot from EcoFest 2019. This is a short 1-minute movie I also made. and you can take a look at it in my YouTube account. If you put my name into YouTube, then you will see the videos I have uploaded. There are videos from EcoFest, from Sasha, and also, sorry, from Minsk, near Minsk, Marina Gorka, and also from Sacha. So many videos. I have been both of these places 2 times. The second point is that it is ecological technology, and as you can see on this picture as well, it just perfectly blends in nature. It's very neat, it's sharp, it's clean, it's not robust or very massive as the other technologies I showed you were. So therefore it's quite great. And of course another ecological part is the production of CO2, which is taken to the minimum because SkyWay uses electricity. And it's possible to implement solar panels as well, and then the wind turbines on the track structure, so it can produce its own energy as well, or produce it for the surrounding, which is quite awesome. Then the wind resistance level are also taken to minimum because of the shape of the body. It's designed so perfectly to cut the wind, and therefore, and then the other aspect is that there is no road, so to say, beneath SkyWay models. There is a track structure of the rails, but the wind can go beneath the rails very well. So instead of, if we think or speak of driving with car, then there is a road, and then it makes it rises the wind resistant levels due to the screen effect. And what is more, there is all different kind of first level or ground floor problems that occur that needs to be maintained and so on. So all this takes an enormous amount of resources. And of course, when we construct the new roads or new railroads, for example, on the ground, then we need to first dig about 7 meters beneath the ground, fill it with special filler, take down the forests and so on to clear the path, for example, for 200 kilometers. And then the fences, there will be also a track structure on one side of the railroad from the beginning to the end for the safety and maintenance. So it's enormous amount of land that it allocates to this construction. But if we take SkyWay, for example, we just put supports on the ground. For example, if you take the monorail, or no, sorry, not monorail, but the Unibus, which rides on a string, not on a rail structure as I saw before, but like in the beginning, or the track structure, the 400-meter one, which is in Sacha, ready in Sacha. That track structure, if you put this one here, then we can take the supports after every 400 meters and even longer. Therefore, there will be a land to fill it with grass and animals and so on. And the same goes inside the city. So it's perfectly safe because it doesn't collide with the first level technologies like cars or trams or trolleys, buses or what these technologies. So it doesn't collide with them, and it's on the second level, so there will be no accidents. Yes, like this. And of course, water is no obstacle for us. It's possible to solve it with longer supports that goes in the water. And also we can take a special plateaus or construction, how I say, floor on the sea up to 5 kilometers from the coastline, and take, when the ship comes with cargo, it can put down his cargo to the plateaus, and then the SkyWay technology brings those cargoes to the ground, which is also great. Because if you Google how much, for example, for how much China constructs new these shipyards or ports, then you will be astonished like I am, because it's enormous amount of land again which goes under construction, and its coastline is very precious land as well. All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, of course, traffic jams. I mentioned also earlier that almost every grown-up person has its own car, and that causes new problems and in the economy or in the infrastructure or moving. And inside the cities, it's at least in bigger cities, it's quite impossible to drive normally 50 kilometers per hour in the rush hours. So it's more like 5 to 10, and it takes hours to get home from work, for example. So the situation is quite crazy, but no great solution is there yet as well, because otherwise people wouldn't go with cars. So what is this technology that solves this problem and people decide to use, for example, SkyWay instead of going work or going home with their own car? So why not, if it looks so great? Just take a look at it. It's just amazing, isn't it? All right, now we are getting warmer about safety. And I can say, hand on my heart, that it's very safe, because there was a collision as well with a tractor when they first started these certification processes in Marina Korka, in the first demonstration as a certification center. And there was a collision with tractor. Everybody survived it, but the tractor cabin was quite damaged. But the unibus cabin was a little bit off the balance, or a little bit under an angle, but it was still holding strongly, and it was possible to move it back and forth as well. So that one already showed how strong it is. And it stays on the track. So even if we lift it upside down, it still stays on the track. Then, of course, we have all these 360 degrees cameras. It's basically lasers that touch the surrounding and scan it constantly. So if any obstacle should arouse in the way, then it immediately stops and sends the signal. And if something happens with the model in the air, and so there is a solution that exactly the same model will come to the site, they will attach their nose and tail, and then it can, the damaged model can be either pulled or lifted to the station. And if that solution also is not possible, then, there is always a hope, and there is always a solution. Then we will just have to put the straps around our waist, and we can lift us down perfectly. So there is even a video where a SkyWay crew member demonstrated how he took the safety kit underneath the seat, and how he attached everything, and then he lifted himself down. And as you can see, he's quite a big man. So it's definitely interesting to watch it. So just go to your personal back office and you can see it from there. All right. It's 100% safer than riding with this technology, I believe. And now I show you a video as well about some technologies that are there in the world. Many of you, I believe, has already seen these videos, but just in case. All right. Just take a look. And the woman would be stuck. So I believe you get my point. I will just show you one more video where what's going on in Japan. So there are Japanese guys who are hired to push people inside the train, so they would get on board. Yes, as you can see, it's crazy. All right. So I hoped I opened someone's eyes, or at least remembered them what is going on in the world. And I hope you will think about this and see how great the technology, the SkyWay technology actually is. All right, the 4 point is that we have actually our own models already certified as well. And we have both for commercial models that take people from point A to point B, and also we have for cargo transport, so for goods. And yes, here, and the sea containers. So this is amazing. And I will show you now on this slide what is the great benefit of this technology. So basically the main thing, or the biggest, I believe, the benefit is that we can go on both directions, or well, different directions at the same time. Because if you think about the train track on the ground, then the train can only go on a one track structure per time. And then, but here with SkyWay, when it's uplifted, the track structure, it can go beneath and below, above and below, sorry. Yes, so this is one thing. Then the unloading time is under 1 minute, which is also quite fast. Well, and then the speed is about 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. So the average speed, for example, for trucks or ships, it's about 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. There are all kind of traffic jams and all kind of, well, different aspects that take down the average speed of currently occurring, or currently well, the technologies that are currently in use. But SkyWay is, well, much more efficient. Then demand is everywhere, and as I myself also work constantly every day with the project, and I see that the interest the interest is absolutely everywhere. And I will show you one news as well in the end, which will, well, support this, the previous slide. Then we have over more than 600 workers. We have all kind of specialists. Then we have our own facilities for production, departments for designers, and so on. So, and testing sites. So this has grown quite big. Then 7 point, and the final point is that it's financially beneficial. And the main party here, of course, is the customer, because comparing with other technologies, they can save up to 10 to 20 times their money, and then make it back much faster with SkyWay than with the other technologies. And of course, it's then beneficial for the company as well, for SkyWay itself, and therefore for its investors. But now let's see the news. As I mentioned also in the beginning, that the Korfakan track structure was announced, about 100 kilometers. So let's see when it will be ready, because that one is for sea containers, and sea containers have to be certified as well before. So therefore we need a track which should be ready in upcoming months, and after that the certification process can begin for the model itself. Then the other huge news is that we will take part in Expo in Dubai, and if you have the chance, then go there definitely, and then see it all with your own eyes, because in Expo City Mall, or the hall, there is this mock-up for SkyWay, and it looks like this. So it's also quite great, and all these models drive there on the tracks and so on. And if anybody is more interested, they can also go to Sarge Innovation Center, which is about 50 kilometers from Dubai, and go and see this with their own eyes. So this is a great chance and opportunity to go and rest, take a holiday, and also visit this Expo and such Innovation Center, which I definitely recommend. Then, of course, we have been in international media for several times lately, all around the world, for example, and most definitely in United Arab Emirates, then in French, India, United States, Australia, Romania, TV, then also in Vietnamese, the media, we were presented, and and also in Korean media as well. So we have been all around the world, which is absolutely amazing. And people hear us and see, and they welcome us. Then the financial audit of Unitsky string technology was published, or well, published, publicly uploaded for people and investors and well, whoever there might be interested in this great audit that document. So it's possible to see what are the incomes and outgoes of money. And this is the news I wanted to show you, because after certification was announced that it was certified, then diplomats from 20 countries were visiting the the center in Sacha, the innovation center. So the ring is very hot there. All right, now the final news is that the Faces of the Future, which basically gives us a discount. That means when we decide to invest in each investor dollar, for each investor dollar, we receive about 90 shares. And today is the last day. So if you are happening to watch this at the moment, then take the chance and then get the discount much higher, because after this campaign, we will see again the discount for 30 or 40 shares per dollar. So at the moment we can share twice as many shares. And here on the last slide, I always like to show this picture because it shows the spiritual connection of this technology and the world and the energies. So everything is perfectly balanced and is done well. And as Dalai Lama also said, it won't be an easy path, but eventually it will be successful. So with these great words, I would like to end today's webinar and welcome you to the next webinar, which takes place on 6th of October, the same time. So take a look at your back office. There will also be the information about webinars and the link as well. So hopefully see you again already in 2 weeks. And I wish you a healthy, health, of course, and just be well, smart choices, and see you soon. All right, goodbye.